Hi, this is Peter Ray Allison for Geek Pride at UK Games Expo 2018. A wise man once said, choose a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. A man who encapsulates that ideal is Ian Livingstone.
Hello there.
Hello. Now, you co-created Fighting Fantasy, co-founded Games Workshop, president and CEO of IDOS Interactive. Is there anything you haven't done in gaming?
Well, for me, life is a game, you know, and there's no difference between work and play. Every day for me is a fun experience. I'm never going to retire, and I was very fortunate enough to be able to turn my hobby of playing games into a career of making them and talking about them.
Yeah, you were at ground zero with the UK games industry. How has gaming changed since 1975?
Oh, you're just trying to find out how old am I? Yes.
Maybe.
No, it's been amazing. I mean, there was nothing there when we started it off. We were kind of making it up as we went along. We made lots of mistakes, but we got a good break in that we ordered 6 copies of Dungeons & Dragons from the creator, Gary Gygax, and got a 3-year exclusive distribution agreement for the whole of Europe. And so we built up Games Workshop, moving from our flat, having to live in a van for 3 months because the bank manager wouldn't lend us any money. But when you live in the dream, it's not hardship. You'd rather do that any day than do a job that you're bored with and being paid a wage, and we'd rather suffer and do what we like than do that. So we had a great time with Workshop and White Dwarf and Citadel Miniatures, and then we got into writing our own books, Fighting Fantasy.
Yeah, what was your defining point in your career so far? I mean, what was kind of the pinnacle?
It's very difficult. I mean, there can't be one absolute thing because there's been several big moments. You know, when we started Games Workshop was a big moment. When we opened our first Games Workshop shop was a big moment. So we started White Dwarf magazine, when we launched Citadel Miniatures, when we saw our first Fighting Fantasy game book on the shops, and then more recently we launched Tomb Raider, and now I'm involved with quite a few other video games companies like Sumo Digital in Sheffield and Playdemic in Manchester. You know, I've just love trying to help other people realize their dreams and help them to the next level, and hopefully add some input about games design and leverage some of my 40 years of ancient knowledge in the industry in a positive way.
I mean, through Games Workshop, you were essentially responsible for introducing role-playing through Dungeons & Dragons to UK and Europe. Did you ever anticipate the success and impact it would have?
Zero idea. I mean, we were just making it up as we went along. It was our hobby that we wanted to follow and see what happened, and there was no benchmarks of what success was. Therefore, what we did was just the norm, and it was a real struggle at first. No cash, and very difficult to reach other people. You know, there was no internet, there was no mobile phones, and so most of it, our success was through word of mouth and going to conventions like we're here today, meeting the people, seeing what they like, and hopefully delivering a decent product experience or service. And basically we were just doing it for ourselves, getting games that we like to play but weren't available, and realizing there were a lot of people like us, and we were able to capitalize on the fact that nobody else was doing it. So no matter how many mistakes we made, we still did okay. So
you've been in the game industry for 40 plus years.
Yeah.
What is the secret to having a career in gaming?
Well, you've got to love games.
Yeah.
You can't just join it like you're going to make spoons for a living. You have to have a passion for games. You have to understand the 3 most important things about a game are gameplay, gameplay, gameplay. A lot of people think they could just have some fancy packaging or a marketing campaign, but there's so much competition these days and so much knowledge and information on the web that unless you've got a great game, you're kind of wasting your time. So number 1, make sure you've got a fantastic product. Be passionate about what you do. Don't do it for money. You know, that's a success. You shouldn't be saying, I'm going to make loads of money doing this. You've got to be focused on, I really want to do this. And if you're successful, you will get money as a byproduct of your success. But it shouldn't be an initial driving force. And also enjoy the industry. This is a fantastic industry. The people in it are amazing. both the creators and the fans. It's not ego-driven, no household names like there are in film or music or television. No, it's a fantastic industry, and it's very creative.
Yeah, you say there's no household name, but you must admit the name Ian Livingstone does carry a lot of weight in the gaming industry.
Well, people in the gaming industry know who I am,
yeah.
yes.
I mean, do you get recognised?
Not much beyond that, no.
Do you get recognised down the street?
If they're gamers, yes. If they're not, no. I'm just some old bloke walking past them.
I mean, you have been recognised. You've got the 2002 BAFTA for,
yes,
and the an OBE in 2006, and leveled up in with an CBE.
That's right, in 2013.
2013.
Yeah.
Could we ever get a Sir Ian?
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know that no one in games has ever had one. So obviously the creative industry, especially the games industry, must be kind of the not the dark horse, but the unruly stepchild of the creative industries, and not taken seriously as it should. And yet games are cultural, they're social, and the economic impact of games is quite evident, both in board games and in video games. And you think cognitively what's happening when you're playing a game, problem solving, intuitive learning, the social aspects of games, the creativity in games, both digital and physical. It's a great learning experience, and people should appreciate more the educational as well as the entertainment value of playing games.
Absolutely, because you've done quite a lot of work recently in STEM and STEAM, like science, technology, engineering, art and mathematics.
Yes.
So what exactly have you got planned next?
Well, I was one of a number of people who helped convince the government to put computer science on the curriculum in 2014. In all schools now, computing is on the curriculum, which is great because I'd say computer science is the new Latin because it underpins the digital world in the way Latin underpins the analog world. And it's not just about coding, it's about computational thinking, creativity, critical thinking, algorithmic thinking, giving kids meta skills which are essential for the 21st century. There's no point in training them like robots because they won't be able to compete with the real thing. So any job that involves repetition is going to be replaced by artificial intelligence or robots. So we've got to teach kids how to think, not what to think. So it's really important that more creativity is in the classroom. And the arts is really important because it allows self-expression, self-determination. That's not just good for the creative industry, but for all industry. Every good industry has a creative process.
Great. Now, what do you have planned next? I mean, you've done pretty much every aspect of gaming. Where do you go next? I mean, are you going to quietly retire, or?
I'm never going to retire. I say there's nothing I'd rather do. Work and play is the same for me. So I'm working probably harder than ever these days, but on a multitude of different projects, from 8 video games companies I chair or advise, to writing Final Fantasy game books. I'm also working on a board game and writing 2 other books, and also opening 2 academies, Livingstone academies.
Oh, wow.
One's going to be in Bournemouth and one's going to be in southwest London. So it's taken a lot of my thinking about project-based work, learning by doing, giving skills as well as qualifications, giving know-how as well as knowledge, and try and get people with more practical skills and able to deal with the incredible change that's happening as a result of advances in technology.
That's great. Well, we won't take up any more of your time, Ian. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. This has been Peter Ray Allison for Geek Pride at UK Games Expo 2018. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, there we go. An insightful interview with an amazing man. Now, as always, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy our other videos, then please give us a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe. Give us a like if you're on Facebook. We're also on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're all over the place. And make sure to stick some comments below. If there's anything you want us to talk about next, if there's anybody you want us to interview, if there's anything you want us to do gaming-wise, news-wise, anything, just hit us up. Or if you just want to hit us up with an email, it's content@geek-pride.co.uk. And thanks a lot, everybody.